activated it. Eat up. That was nice.
Okay. I'm ready, miss. Line up, please.
Okay.
Hey, what are you doing?
Very confused.
Jamie, I'm not supposed to sit down. Oh my gosh.
Quiet.
Shut up.
We're just gonna wait for everyone. We're just gonna wait for everyone.
Andrea, you have the hoodie, right? Yeah.
Kaden, you said? Hi, Kaden. Bless you, Queen.
Stand back. 50 minutes. 20 minutes. No, I'm at side of here. What?
No hoodies on in there either. So make sure you have the hoodie off. Sophia, no hoodie off.
You mean like the hoodie color or like the actual hoodie? Because I have a jacket. Hi, Wyatt. Yeah, but they moved it. I haven't been into a planetarium in like, seriously. I haven't been there in so long. I don't remember sitting down in the stage.
I thought it was around the
In my pocket before I already like.
Joaquin, come here. Don't tell me that.
Oh, the apron. Why is it red? Guys, why is it red?
Why does it matter if it's red? Wait, I think it's on this one.
be silence on 3. 1, 2, and 3. If you're misbehaving, if you're not paying attention, if we're being disrespectful, you have no business being here. So I will go ahead and send you guys back to campus along with a nice long note to the principal. Do we have that clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I am going to have your teachers move you guys around. Whoever needs to be moved around, please go ahead and do so right now.
Miss, I'm good.
Oh, we didn't take my phone. Get my phone and forget.
If you're not listening to your teachers, guys, again, it's a privilege to be here. So I'm going to give you guys one last opportunity. If you're asked to move around, you moved around. If not, I'm sending you guys back to school.
Yes. I think we can, Miss.
Me too.
Okay, number 1, you guys, there are a couple of rules that I should have talked to you guys at the bus. So I am going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, there's no food allowed inside the planetarium. That does include gum. If I see any one of you guys with gum, I am going to go ahead and ask you to exit the planetarium and you will exit at the bus. So if you guys have any food or any gum, I'm giving you guys the opportunity to stand up right now, and there's a trash can right outside. You can go ahead and dispose of it, okay? Number 2, there is no going to the restrooms during the show unless it is an absolute total emergency, okay? If you guys do not have an emergency, you are to remain seated the entire time, okay? Listen to this. It is going to get a little dark in here. Your teachers will have flashlights with them. So if you guys do have to go to the restroom as an emergency, I just need you guys to know that your teachers are going to have to walk with you to the restroom, wait for you outside, and then walk with you back inside. So if it's not an emergency, I don't want you guys to even ask. Do we have that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Once, no going to the restrooms.
Ow.
You're right again. You spit.
Oh, perfect. So if you guys went before you came in, then there shouldn't be any issues. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and give this a try. I'm already letting you guys know, sadly, this has been the worst behaved class I have had. So I am not going to wait for you guys. I am not going to announce. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights and let you guys go back to school if this continues. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, everyone, so the first thing that I am going to do is we're going to get our eyes a little bit more adjusted to the dark. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the first set of lights.
Huh?
Okay, in the dark you'll be able to see. Guys, I don't think we're gonna need to flash the light at anybody, right? Because you guys are gonna know how to behave. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But
Yes,
now
ma'am.
we are gonna keep quiet and we are gonna listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of the second set of lights. So, a little bit about this place, you guys. This right here is called the Roddenberry Planetarium. It is named after Gene Roddenberry, who is the creator for the series of Star Trek. He was actually born here in El Paso, and that is why we named this place after him. So something really neat that is going on right now is you guys are actually the first school to come and visit the planetarium after a big upgrade. So if you guys went to the planetarium back when you were in 3rd grade, you were probably at Boeing, and you saw that there was a black box in the middle of the room, and that was our projector system. So you guys are actually looking at a brand new projection system that has an 8K image. So what you guys are looking at is 8K. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and send the logos up into the sky, and in just 1 second, you guys will be able to see the stars.
JVR, where'd you go?
All right, I'm
JVR.
gonna wait. So the first thing that I want us to do is locate ourselves in the night sky. So you guys can see in the front of the dome, we have a big S, it stands for south. Over here on the left, we have east. Over here on the right, we have west, and in the back of the dome, we have the north.
Where am I? I can't see myself.
Okay, I think we want to go back. This is your last warning. The sky that you guys are looking at right here, right now, is exactly how it'll look like tonight at 7:15 p.m. Now, why so early? Well, it's actually because our time schedule just changed, right? So 7:15 p.m. should actually be pretty dark in the night sky tonight. Now, the first thing that I want to show you guys are actually planets. There are 2 planets, very bright, very visible here in El Paso. Now, the first planet I want to show you guys is up on the south area of the sky, and it's actually the planet Saturn. So Saturn is so bright that we don't even need a telescope in order to see it. We can actually see it just by using our eyes. Now, one really neat thing that we can do here at the planetarium is I can actually show you guys how the planet looks like. So this right here, you guys, is a gas giant, which means it's mostly made out of gas, hydrogen, helium, and methane. Now, a common misconception or a wrong idea is that Saturn is the only planet that has rings. That is actually not true. All of the major outer planets of our solar system actually have rings. Saturn is just one of them that has the most prominent ones of them all. Now we're going to go ahead and send Saturn back into the sky, and I am going to show you guys the second brightest object in the sky. So this one's actually going to be also on the southeast area, and this is the planet Jupiter. So Jupiter is actually visible tonight here above El Paso, and Jupiter tonight is the second brightest thing that you're going to be able to see in the sky. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Jupiter is also known as a gas giant because it is also mostly made out of gas, hydrogen, helium, and methane. Jupiter, you guys, is actually the biggest planet of our solar system, and it can fit over 1,000 Earths right on that planet. Now, what's really neat about it is that it has many, many moons, but it has 4 very big moons called the Galilean moons. They're called the Galilean moons because Galileo Galilei was the first ones to observe them. Now, these 4 moons, you guys, are so big that if you have some pretty decent binoculars, you can actually see them. So if you guys go out there tonight and you have some decent binoculars, you can actually point towards Jupiter, you'll be able to see the planet, and you're able to see the little moons orbiting around it. You can also see them if you have a pretty basic telescope, which is pretty nice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about some constellations, and the constellations I want to talk to you guys are on the east area of the sky. But before I do that, I do want to talk to you guys about, right on the east area, we have the brightest thing in the night sky tonight, and that is the moon. Have you guys heard anything about our moon on the news? No? Yes, some of us have, some of us haven't. So actually tomorrow, you guys, we will have the last total lunar eclipse of the year.
Blood moon.
This is what they call the blood moon.
Yes.
Okay? So what happens is you have the sun, the earth in the middle, and then the earth is casting a shadow onto the moon. The moon will actually turn red. Now that doesn't mean that it physically turns red. What happens is the earth casts a shadow onto the moon, it bends the light, and the way it reaches our eyes is in the form of the color red. That is why they call it the blood moon. So this will actually be happening tomorrow. Now, good thing is it's happening tomorrow, and if you guys have parents that will allow you to stay a little bit late at night, then you will be able to see it because this won't happen until 1 a.m., okay? That's actually when it starts. Totality won't be until around 2 a.m., which I know it's kind of hard, but if you guys have parents that like this and they'll let you kind of wake up in the middle of the night to go take a look, it will be something worth seeing. The moon will look really, really bright, really, really red, and it'll also look really big. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about constellations. In the night sky tonight, we actually have quite a little bit of a love story here on the east area of the sky. The first constellation I want to talk to you guys about is a mythological creature that has something unusual within it. So this right here, we have 4 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4 stars make up the torso of this special mythological creature. We have its legs, we have its head, and we have its wings.
What?
This constellation goes by the name of Pegasus. And Pegasus is up there in the night sky tonight. Now, Pegasus is there because he is on a mission.
Whoa.
In the story, we
that's kinda
have
sick.
an evil queen. This queen was married to Zeus, the mightiest of gods, and was the stepmother to Princess Andromeda. Now, the evil queen wanted to be ever beautiful, right? She wanted to be the most beautiful one of them all. So she goes onto a magic mirror and she tells the magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? The mirror wakes up and says, my queen, the most beautiful one of them all is not you. It is actually your stepdaughter, Princess Andromeda. So the queen obviously doesn't take these news lightly, and she's mad. She's really upset. And so she decides to take Princess Andromeda, to chain her onto a rock, and to leave her in the middle of the ocean so that she could be taken by the monster of the sea, the Kraken.
Oh no.
Now, the queen didn't think about someone who would go and rescue Princess Andromeda. But there was this one knight who was deeply in love with Andromeda. And he found out what the evil queen had done. So he decided he needed to do something about it. So, the knight, who goes by the name of Perseus, decides to go and rescue her.
Who the fuck is Percy?
If I could have someone in the front, just like shining on the light for the kiddos over there, because I think just because of them in the front, we're gonna have to stop. So Perseus is a knight. He's deeply in love with Princess Andromeda, and he decides he needs to go and rescue her. But he knows that it's not going to be an easy task, because the Kraken is not just like an animal or something that can be killed easily. He's a monster of the sea. So Perseus comes up with a plan. He hops onto Pegasus, and they go into the middle of an enchanted forest to hunt for the head of the witch who has snakes in her head.
Huh?
So if you guys take a close look right around here, we're actually able to see Perseus holding on to the head of Medusa.
What?
Now Perseus hops back onto Pegasus, they fly into the middle of the ocean, and just as the Kraken is getting ready to take Princess Andromeda, Perseus flies right in front of it, shows the crack in Medusa's head, and when the Kraken looks into Medusa's eyes, he turns into stone. And that is actually how he's able to rescue Princess Andromeda. Now, Zeus found out what the queen had done, and he was furious. He was really mad. And so he decided she needed to be punished. So she was sent to the sky. And now and forever, she is right next to Perseus, sitting down on a very uncomfortable chair, upside down. So let me show you guys. This right here is actually the seat, the back, right here at the top of the chair. And if you guys take a close look, right around here where the queen's face or body should be, there's no stars. That was actually part of the punishment. Zeus made the queen, Cassiopeia, invisible, so no one could see her beauty ever again. But this is how she looks like. Now, this right here, you guys, is actually how it looks like here in El Paso. So, if you guys take a good look around the dome, do you see a good amount of stars?
Yes.
There's a good amount of stars, right? Well, guess what? These are not the only stars in the night sky. If we were away, far from El Paso, and there was no light pollution at all, we would actually be able to see a lot more. In fact, these are all the stars that our skies actually have. Now, the reason we don't see them here in El Paso, you guys, is because we have a lot of light pollution. And when we have a lot of light pollution, that light gets reflected onto the sky, and we're not able to see all of the stars. It's basically what happens here at the planetarium. If I were to allow you guys to use your cell phones during the show, all of that light would be reflected onto the dome, and you wouldn't be able to see the dome itself. So that is basically why we're only able to see the brightest things in the night sky. Alright, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and play a little video for you, and that'll be it for the day.
Wait, I want more though. Because we still... Watch there be an ad or something. What? Whoa. Yo. Yo.
Smash.
Yo, just come. Just come. Jesus, loud. What the heck?
Is that me? Is that me?
Hey, wait up.
That's me.
That's me.
Hey, wait up. I can't see.
That's
Okay, we'll wait for your eyes to get used to the dark. Ow! Why is it so dark in here? Because we rode it from the bright lights of the city into the dark of the park. The pupils in your eyes are slowly opening up right now. It's a little more lighted. Just wait. You'll be able to see well enough soon. Is that why owls have big eyes, so they can see at night? Yeah. The larger the pupil, the more light it lets in. And that's why they can hunt at night. The telescope we're gonna look through works the same way. The bigger the mirror or lens, the more light the telescope captures. Last year, they had a telescope that was big enough that I got to see galaxies. It was really cool. Hi guys! I am so glad you could come. I was looking for you. I see you brought your big telescope this year. Yes, I did. No way! That thing is huge! And it sure doesn't look like the telescope in our science classroom at school. The eyepiece is at the back. Where's yours? It's at the top. That's why we need the ladder to look through it.
That's right. This is a reflecting telescope, which means the light is gathered on a mirror at the back of the telescope and reflected to the front of the telescope, where it hits another mirror and the light is reflected again into the eyepiece. The telescope your teacher has is called a refractor, that uses lenses instead of mirrors to gather and focus the light.
Which is better, the reflector or the refractor?
It depends on what you want to observe with your telescope, but the general rule is the bigger the mirror or lens, the more light the telescope will gather, and the brighter and more resolved the object you are looking at will be.
Resolved? Well, to resolve an object means that you can see detail. When you look through the telescope from our school, you can see Jupiter and its 4 moons. But when you look through this telescope, you can see the bands of clouds on Jupiter. So, the better the resolving power, or resolution, the better the view, right?
Right. You have a great memory.
How could I forget? I will always remember seeing Saturn's rings for the first time, and the spiral arms of that galaxy you showed me last year. Can I look through your telescope?
Absolutely. The whole reason I brought it here.
Wow, is that really Jupiter? And what are those stars lined up on either side?
Those are the 4 Galilean moons: Io, Callisto, Europa, and Ganymede.
Why are they called Galilean moons?
An Italian mathematician named Galileo in 1610 was the first man to see them with a telescope. In fact, it's believed that Galileo was the first to use a telescope to view the heavens. He was surely the first to record his observations.
Galileo invented the telescope? Nope. Can you tell a story of that Dutch guy?
Sure, but let me tell you, friend, what it was like before there were telescopes. Prior to the invention of the telescope, everyone believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and that the sun, moon, and planets orbited around it. Then in 1543, Nicholas Copernicus proposed a different model with the sun, not the Earth, at the center. This was a radical idea, but he had no evidence to prove it. Nearly 65 years later, in 1608, a Dutchman named Hans Lippershey took 2 small pieces of glass and fixed them in a tube, creating a spyglass. A few months later, Galileo read accounts of it and built his own. On a clear evening in January 1610, he pointed it toward Jupiter. The telescope's narrow field of view made it difficult for him to find Jupiter. But when he did, he saw 3 stars next to the planet, 1 to the right and 2 more on the left. He watched these points of light over several nights, noting how they changed their position. He determined that they were moons orbiting Jupiter, not the Earth. This became the first observational evidence that the heavens worked differently than what people had imagined up to then. Copernicus' theory that we orbited the sun was eventually proven using Galileo's new window on the universe, the telescope. And he saw more than just Jupiter's moons. His telescope magnified enough for him to recognize that there are mountains on the moon, spots on the sun, and that Venus goes through phases like our moon. He also saw that the Milky Way was made up of thousands of stars. Now, would you like to look at Saturn? Sure. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, take a look.
Wow, is that real?
It's real.
Did Galileo see Saturn in his telescope?
Yes, but he only saw an oblong point of light because his telescope lacked the resolution to see the rings. He described it as a planet with ears. The Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens, using a 23-foot-long refracting telescope, revealed that Saturn is a ringed planet and discovered its largest moon, Titan.
Was his telescope as big as this one?
It was quite a bit longer, but the aperture of the lens was just a few inches in diameter.
Why was his longer? It has something to do with how light focuses through the lens. Something about color,
Aberration. That's right. When you view a bright star or planet through a simple refractor, you see a colored ring of blue and yellow around its edges. By increasing the focal length of the telescope, or making it longer, the less aberration you get.
But I only see a ring around Saturn, and it's not blue or yellow. That's because her telescope is not a refractor, it's a reflector.
Shortly after Huygens made his long refractors, a man named Sir Isaac Newton did some experiments and figured out that the color aberrations were produced when the light passed through the lenses. So he found a way to use a mirror to focus the light just like a lens, but without the color aberrations. Now, do you want to see some real color?
Sure.
Okay. I'll point the telescope over here to a pretty sight. Albireo A and B, a binary star system, which means these two stars appear extremely close. In fact, with your unaided eyes, it appears as a single star in the sky.
I see two stars, but they're not the same color. One is blue and one is gold. That's because each star is of a different temperature. I learned that last year. When you look at a candle flame, you see it go from blue near the wick to almost red at the top. Each color relates to the temperature of the flame at the point. The top of the flame, the red part, is hot, but the blue part is really hot.
Right again! Newton was involved with figuring that out as well. Remember the light passing through the glass lens that created color aberrations? Well, Newton passed light through a prism and figured out that colors of the rainbow corresponded with different temperatures. The blue portion of the rainbow, or spectrum, is warmer than the red. So not only did Newton figure out how to build a telescope using a mirror as a lens, removing color aberrations, he also started the study of light, called spectroscopy. These unique discoveries are utilized on telescopes all over the world every night, even on the 10-meter mirror telescopes in La Palma and Hawaii.
10 meters? That's like over 30 feet. What's it like looking through one of them?
Astronomers don't look through telescopes that big. They use devices called detectors. Detectors take the focused light and either image it into a digital photograph or break the light up into a spectrum. Now, a photograph can tell you a lot about an object, but a spectrum can reveal the unseen. See, when astronomers study a spectrum from a star, they can deduce a lot of information about it. By comparing the observed spectrum to those created in a lab, they can tell how hot it is. They detect what elements are in the star's upper layers. They can also observe the star's apparent motion by how much the spectrum is shifted. Have you ever heard a siren from a police car or ambulance change its pitch as it drove by?
Sure.
What you heard was something called the Doppler effect, where the sound wave was compressed as it came towards you and then stretched as it went away. This same effect can be seen in spectra of stars that are in motion coming toward or going away from the observer. This effect can also be used to observe motion in galaxies.
Galaxies? Don't we live in a galaxy?
Yes, it's called the Milky Way. But did you know that we've only known it for less than 100 years?
Why did it take so long for us to figure that out?
Before the 20th century, astronomers thought the universe consisted of a flat disk of stars with the Earth and the solar system residing in the center. An astronomer named Carolyn Herschel even made a map of this disk. Because telescopes of the day didn't have the resolving power to see individual stars in other galaxies, they thought the patches of light, which they called spiral nebulae, were part of this immense disk. It wasn't until the 100-inch telescope atop Mount Wilson was built that astronomers see individual stars in the disks of the spiral nebulae. An astronomer named Edwin Hubble used this telescope to observe a special type of star called Cepheid variables, and was not only able to determine that spiral nebulae were individual galaxies that he called island universes, but that they were extremely far away. Look here, this is the closest major galaxy to ours. It's called the Andromeda Galaxy.
Didn't Hubble also determine that the universe was expanding?
Yes, he did. The expansion that he observed and later observations of cosmic background radiation in the 1960s confirmed the model that the universe was created in a Big Bang.
Is that why they named the Hubble Space Telescope after him?
That's right. When NASA launched the Hubble Space Telescope, they knew that the telescope would reveal a universe unseen by land-based telescopes of the day. See how the stars twinkle? Yeah, our atmosphere causes that. And regardless of how big you make a telescope, the limiting factor in what a telescope can see is the air between it and space. So when they put a telescope in space, astronomers knew that they were in for some surprises. The Hubble Space Telescope revealed the formation of stars and planets, the magnificent remnants of stellar death. It has shown us that the universe is dynamic and not stagnant. But what it really showed us is that the early universe was different than the one we live in today.
What? What do you mean, the early universe? Isn't it all the same? How can we see the early universe if we're older?
Great question. See that star over there? That's Vega. It's about 26 light years away. That means that the light which that star generates takes 26 years to travel to us. So we see it as it was 26 years ago. Now that star over there is called Deneb, and it is 3,600 light years away.
So that's the way it looked 3,600 years ago?
That's correct.
And how old is the light from the Andromeda Galaxy?
Over 2 million years. So telescopes are not only optical instruments, they can be used as time machines. And the Hubble Space Telescope looked back to over 13.5 billion years when it took an image called Ultra Deep Field. This image revealed a very different universe than we live in today. colliding and merging to form larger galaxies, which led to the galaxies that surround us today.
So now that we have telescopes in space, astronomers don't need telescopes on Earth anymore, right?
That might have been true if they hadn't developed a process called adaptive optics. Astronomers and engineers can now measure the distortions caused by the atmosphere in real time and subtract them out before the light from an object reaches the focal plane of the telescope. Because of this technology, large aperture telescopes that operate around the world can now rival the resolution of the Hubble Space Telescope. Even larger land-based telescopes, the size of football fields, are planned to be constructed in the next 10 years and will look even further back into time.
What do you think they will see? I'm not sure, but I want to be the first astronomer to use that telescope.
Good for you! Astronomy is filled with puzzles and unsolved mysteries. The recent discovery that the universe is accelerating in its expansion is one that will need lots of observations to figure out what drives it. Dark matter and the physics that hold galaxies together is another one. But the one that excites me the most is that we are close to having the power to observe Earth-like planets around other stars and should be able to detect life on those planets. Who knows? Maybe you will be as famous as Galileo is today because of two small pieces of glass that he turned to the heavens, launching humanity on the ultimate voyage of discovery.
Alrighty guys, thank you so much for that, I appreciate it. Alrighty guys, we're gonna go ahead and remain seated. I do need to get your eyes adjusted to the light again for when you go outside, so please just go ahead and remain seated. I'm gonna turn on those lights. I am sorry, it is going to hurt just a little bit, okay? And then if we could, teachers have those flashlights back. Thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and walk around, guys. The seats are reclined. They're perfect seats for Planetarium, but they are also the perfect seats to leave stuff underneath the seats. So if you guys have anything in your back pockets, just make sure you guys have everything you came with. Make sure you guys are not forgetting anything.
That was cool. Huh?
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and exit the Planetarium. Listen to me. Go ahead and take a seat. Thank you. Okay. The first row, you guys are gonna go ahead and stand up. We're gonna go this way. and we're going to exit through the front of the dome, okay? Guys, please, as you're exiting the planetarium, do not try to touch the dome, okay? Any little bit of movement on these projectors, and we don't have a planetarium anymore. So please keep your hands to yourself, okay? So first row, go ahead and stand up. We're gonna go this way, and we're walking out. Follow the yellow arrows. This way, guys, to the front of the row, the front of the room. No, hombre. Over here, guys. Front of the dome. Go ahead and follow your teacher. Next row, go ahead and stand up, guys. We're gonna go this way.
Yeah, that's probably the best experience I've had. That was amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I don't want to leave. No, I did. Yes. I did. I did.
Ah.
I'm so happy to see you because you from like second grade. You know the people. Listen, you do good.
What did she tell you guys at the beginning?
I don't know.
You did on the second half, but at the beginning, what did she tell you guys?
So the kids stay
That
safe.
you guys were like the worst behaved class.
Oh.
My head hurts so bad.
Why me?
Keelan.
What are your pants though?
Pull up your pants, monkey.
Same bus,
Is this all right?
same bus, so that I can check you out.
Whichever one you were on.
Man, Jalen, I'm finna touch your ass.
Sucking very bad. You trying to touch his face?
Why'd you touch his
Sperm
ass?
gang on top, sperm
Hey,
gang on
that's my,
top.
that's my
Sperm
sperm.
gang on top.
That's my sperm.
What gang? Sperm gang, that's why I'm repping the gray draws.
This was actually my sperm. Hey, babe.
Dude, I saw you in the dark. That's how you know you light. I couldn't even see the white kid till I still saw you.
Oh, you recall?
I will go the whole thing.
Oh my god.
You insane. My head hurts very bad. It's the 8K. The 8K hurts. The 8K hurts my head.
Jalen, move.
Hey, let me see what you're doing.
What's going on? My head hurts. Can I have medicine?
Yo, that was way too far.
Hi, Angel. You're over there. Go over there.
Where's Jalen?
I don't know.
I love the Planetarium. But you're honestly, I need to register, but I need
Plus one. 34 plus one. So 34 students. Guys, you know where you were. Come here.
I'm waiting for them to
Let's go. We're not waiting for nothing. Sit. Find a place. Jalen, you're going to press. Go and pick up them pants. Pick up them pants because I don't care to see shorts.
My pants are on the floor.
bro.
If you were in the front, get to the front. Yeah. Turn around this way. Okay, let me go check my bus. Javian, you were on this one? He was on this one?
It was 50 minutes. 50 minutes.
Bro, that was less than 50 minutes, bro.
Felt like 30.
It felt like 45.
Oh god, here we go.
No, it felt like 40.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to FNF now. Alright. As you saw, we're back on the bus, and I'm just gonna be playing Funky Fight until I get back to school.
Hey, I'll $20. I'll buy each one of you on the donuts. Hey, how much people are in here? Probably like 30. And then
Rain.
everyone just sitting in the back.
Rain, what time is it? What time is it?
12:59. Jalen.
12:59. 12? I'm gonna be in science class. Oh.
We're going back to school on 7.
No! Go away, you ugly people. No, you're ugly. Go get your own phone. Go buy your own phone. This load is so slow.
Oh my god!
Oh, shut up.
I'm sorry.
It's been a year, Dad. I miss you very, very much.
And he's right in front of it.
No, niggas.
And then I have to push the fuck out of me. You were like that, Mom. Whose mom is that? Whose mom is that? You annoyed? Mommy?
Hey, break it up, buddy.
Oh, it's loaded. Sorry, I didn't realize.
You're getting on his nerves.
Soup? Is that soup? I'm gonna play Blimey. Just because.
I said lesbian.
And Tapahi. Can I get candy on my.
Let me see something. What is going on? Black
Whoa.
Come on. That was already left. Let's already leaving. Bye.
Look. Well, shut up then. No.
Listen here, buddy. That's harassment.
Oh shit. Oh, no.
Right here.
Oh. I suck. Oh boy, here we go. We're on the road again.
What about the kids in the white van? Is this so much singing? The two kids in the white van?
It's complete chaos. Oh my god.
Hey, what's your name? Steven Andrea. Oh, get it, Oh, we on fire. Bro, have you never seen a fire? Huh?
Oh boy.
Oh yes, we go straight to 7th period. No, we go to 8th period.
What?
We go to 7th period. It's not even 1:20 yet. We're going to 7th period. It's not even 3 yet. It's not even McDonald's? I like McDonald's. We're going straight to 7th period. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, Peter Papa Pizza.
Angel. Hey, why do you need to have Popeyes? I want to buy something.
Oh my god, it's Popeyes.
Popeyes gets $2 million.
Okay.
Do you like the dry biscuit?
Hello?
No. Jalen. Hey, pay attention real fast. Hey, bro, who's Kirkle's head? Are they still honey? No, shut up.
Awkward silence.
No, Lambo.
What? It ain't a Lambo, you idiot.
It was a Lambo.
It was not a Lambo.
Hey, don't Jay, wearing a Lamborghini.
I don't like this new menu.
Well, time with Chucky's up.
How do you reset?
Whoa! So Nuggies! What? Bro, I don't think that's not Nuggies.
Hi.
Hey, man, that kid's doing weird stuff.
No!
No!
Come back to me!
Nuggies! Shut up!
Catch up. You have to catch up. Get out of here. Up.
You're gonna make my phone cry! Oh, that's not chicken nuggets there. I said nuggies, not nuggets. I said nuggies.
No, wait, we're going a different way. What? They're being kidnapped.
I'll tell you a shortcut!
We're going a different way.
I'll tell you a shortcut! Oh, be quiet!
We're all gonna die.
Oh, there's stuff in there.
One of the school buses being kidnapped right now. Because we both went a different way.
How does it gonna sound like? Huh? How does it gonna sound like? Papa! Don't shut
Oh,
up!
what the hell? The game's broken. It's so loud. There's another bus.
Girls! Be quiet. Hey, be quiet. This is why she be wearing a seatbelt. Shut up. Oh, that's no house over there. Hey, that's no house.
There's no seatbelts in a school bus.
Bro, this is why she be wearing a seatbelt. No, ask him.
Oh. I'm just gonna leave
Hey,
it.
she's making fun of me. Stay right there. She's making fun of me. Shut up!
Oh.
I'm not serious right now, bro. Are you serious right now, bro?
Are you serious right now, bro?
Serious right now, bro?
Oh no, it's quiet.
I was about to say if that was your phone. Shut up! Shut up!
How'd you get this car? It's not Christmas yet.
Shut up, bro! The planetarium was light for some reason. The planetarium was being so light. The planetarium was being so light. But now I'm not I need to go to a Paso Fitness. Oh, the black dude is back here. He's black though. Yes, he is, right? Right? Blue? Blue? Oh, right, you're blue?
No. I'm blue, dabba dee, dabba die. No, Rain is blue. God damn it.
I like that dog. Look at that dog. Bro, look at that dog just do.
Hi.
It's a big one. Bro, remember what did you?
Oh. Apple court. What's that? Oh boy! God damn it! What in the fuck?
No, I didn't, bro. No, I did not.
Imagine falling.
Shut up.
Holy shit. Oh boy, apple core. Oh, bet. Oh shit. Damn it.
Give me one.
Thanks for watching. Alright, don't try to go, because that's gross. Well, goodbye. I used to.
Hey, I'll buy you something. You gave me right that one time. I'll buy you Skittles. Yay. Bro, what? No one's
Gonna fight you.
I can't wait to go to the Wait, no, science? I'm at orchestra. I'm
I almost hit that.
They're drinking dirty water. How
do you have water?
Jeez Louise. Oh, we're here. Oh, shit. Fuck. I'm not gonna end the video. Put my phone in my pocket. Who is shooting?
We got a gun! Look, it's not a gun.
That's funny. Okay, we're back to the school thing. I think we noticed it. 5 seconds. No, it's second now. No, it's not. And I don't want it just to be like, they talk about what constellations are there, and then this, and that, and then the video. That's like an entire. Yeah.